Hi, this is Anna London, and in this episode, we're going to talk about why top leaders should use humor in their leadership skills, right? So, why do top leaders use humor in leadership skills? Why is it the most inspiring? Leaders typically also have a sense of humor. So through research and analyses, on the psychology of humor in the workplace. And then on specifically why and how leaders use humor as part of their leadership style, there's 5 different reasons why the top leaders use humor in their leadership skills and do it effectively, okay? So the key takeaways here is that the top leaders understand the power of humor and use humor as a part of their leadership style because it benefits them and their team in many ways. And let's talk about those ways, right? So leaders use humor to enjoy their work, okay? And work more, actually. Look, when a leader uses humor in their leadership skills, it builds deeper relationships, increases their personal likability, and improves their team's job satisfaction. Humor also minimizes status differences and can diffuse certain tensions, which also helps everyone enjoy their work more. Leaders also use humor as a part of their leadership skills to signal confidence and emotional intelligence to their team and all external followers. A leader that uses humor in their leadership skills shows that they have things under control enough that they prioritize humor and happiness. Think of it this way. If your team lead was too busy to smile once a day, would you think the company is doing well? Right? No. So leaders use humor in their leadership skills to reassure their team that they have enough confidence, control, and time to manage stressful situations at work. Leaders use humor as part of their leadership skills to humanize themselves in the eyes of others. Basically the pratfall effect. And what the pratfall effect is a psychological phenomenon that claims that we distance ourselves from people who appear to be perfect. We are significantly more attracted to competent people who appear to have a minor relatable flaw. So the everyday hardworking employee will feel more connected to the leader who uses some light humor in the workplace, right? Makes us more approachable as leaders. Leaders use humor in their leadership skills to be more memorable and not tuned out or forgotten, right? So a sense of humor has been studied to be the most important factor in employees forming impressions of their supervisors. And leaders who use humor remain memorable for longer because people are more likely to remember previous events that are interjected with them smiling or laughing, right? What a concept. Leaders use humor also as a part of leadership skills to learn more about a group's norms and values. So what people find funny changes, like over time, right, based on the people and environment. Humor can be seen as a window into a group's norms, values, freedom of expression, and what people deem acceptable today. A leader can also and use humor in their leadership skills to learn more about their employees and form a deeper relationship, okay? So, we believe that humor is a skill, okay, and can be learned. And so just keep practicing, and over time, your humor skills will improve. However, right, so I support cyber teams or what have you, and sometimes you just have to be careful because some people just don't know. They relate better than computers than with people, so kind of be careful in that regard. Also be careful of any off-putting, the biases, any racial epithets, things that could be perceived as offensive, even on the lighter scale or the deeper scale, right? Because right now, though, everybody is emotionally triggered by a lot of things, right? And so you really kind of have to be very careful, though. But again, get to know your team first, and it's never okay to use, demoralizing type of comments, racial type of comments, harassing type of comments, any sexual type of comments, right? So make sure you're adhering to the laws governing your workplace, okay? And, just be very careful because it can be taken in the wrong way as well. So I caution you when you're using humor, okay? lighthearted humor, but again, get to know your team first, okay? And also preface when you're saying something, preface it by saying that I'm just, trying to be funny, and I apologize if it's taken the wrong way, etc. Kind of test the waters and see what people are okay with, what they're not okay with, right? But any like racially or gender or sexual or anything like that, you should be very, very careful first, because again, it can be taken out of context. I also teach, right? So I have to be very careful with students as well, so it's kind of, you're walking a fine line there. But again, definitely though, infuse humor where you can, okay? And where it's appropriate, with appropriate language, okay? Because it can diffuse tensions, increase personal likability, and will improve your just workspace, right? Your environment, right? Everybody wants to come to work and enjoy what they do, or at least if they don't enjoy what they do, at least they enjoy the people they work with, right? So, I say as a leader and as an employee, right? Infuse some type of humor that works. It helps too, because it increases that dopamine hit, and it can help lighten the burden of a day, and also can help somebody that's actually having a bad day, right? By causing them to smile, right? So be the cause and effect of people smiling and liking what they do instead of hating what they do. And it'll also help people to be more inclined to, want to get up for work in the morning, right? And performance increases then because people are happier at work, right? Your team is happier, also. And the quality of work, the performance, everything will be drastically improved, believe it or not. And also as a leader, because it can be very stressful, right? Leading teams, the personnel aspect, right? And so as a leader, it's just important to better relate to our team. Yes, the human element of it all, right? And it helps lighten the load of everything. So again, take heed, and just do it appropriately is all I'm going to say. Okay, be appropriate in your comments, definitely well studied. If you're questioning whether or not you should say something, you probably shouldn't, okay? Because even though somebody in that demographic, whether it be gender or race or ethnicity or nationality or whatever, even though maybe a friend of yours is okay with it, somebody else you do not know may not. So you definitely don't want to mistakenly offend anybody, even though you don't mean to offend. Everything can be taken out of context nowadays, so you have to be very, very careful, okay? So I say this, use humor, but again, I caution that with, just being careful, okay, and being appropriate, because remember, there's workplace, and even though you extend maybe to a happy hour, it doesn't mean you can start making sexual comments to the women on your team or anything, right? Because the same laws and rules apply, right? You can't harass the women, right? You can't harass your fellow employees, okay? You can't make racial comments. So the things that, they're your work peeps, if you will, right? So those same laws and rules apply, in a happy hour with your workplace employees on and off the job, okay? So you have to be very, very careful. Also texting, be careful too, because something, even though we can do, use emojis or what have you, many times people can't hear the tone and inflection in your voice. Emails, same thing. So, be serious as much as you need to be serious, right? You don't need to be a Jim Carrey, for instance, all the time. But infuse it when you can to kind of be more relatable to your team and just have a good time overall. And it'll lessen the stress, right? Lessen the stress. And people then will want to come to work. They'll enjoy coming to work. Because even though the work itself may be difficult or complex, the fact that you have a good team, along your side to work with, and you enjoy working with that team, makes that workload less burdening, if you will, right? And people are a lot more motivated also to support you as a leader, okay? And again, we leaders need to set the standard and, basically embody the very, we're the ones that set the tone for the culture anyways in the environment. People tend to mimic their leader, all right, as well. So if you're always negative, then anticipate that your team is going to be negative, okay? If you're You don't have to be always happy. I mean, people can see the authenticity in people and the fakeness in people. So be authentic, right? But be transparent. When you're having a bad day, let them know, that you're having a bad day, or what have you. Be transparent and honest with things. You don't need to go into detail about your personal life, but at least be honest with them so they understand, okay, well, today she's having a bad day or he's having a bad day. So I'm gonna step away, may not be as cordial as I normally am, right? Because this is, etc. I just appreciate some space today, but, and so then they know, okay. And then of course you can come back online, as if you will, once you've decompressed and, because we all have bad days. We have good days and bad days. And everybody has their own story, right? But again, smiling at somebody, even complimenting. I mean, there's a variety of things that can actually just lighten the load of a person's day. You never know what people are going through anyways. So that extend your hand of kindness, compassion, empathy, and of course humor as appropriate, right? To help people laugh and enjoy themselves. We only have one life to live, right? And so it's rather short, okay? So don't you want to enjoy life, right? Not everything has to be like humdrum and, all that kind of stuff. So anyways, with that said, I hope this was helpful, but anyways, use humor. Okay, use humor. And top leaders actually do use humor in their leadership skills. And those that actually are in tune with emotional intelligence, okay, signals confidence and a high level of emotional intelligence, okay, but appropriate humor, though, that's the thing. That's the thing, because there are people that can go overboard and overstep, okay, and then they're like, they think, well, it was funny, it was a joke. No, it wasn't. Because sometimes offensive comments or put downs and things can actually be, if you notice for, comedy, some of that, especially if it's anti-white or anti-black rhetoric, it's like, haha, laughing. No, they mean it. They just try to, I guess, infuse it with, what would be perceived as comedy, so they can get away with those comments, right? And say, oh, I was just joking. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You really mean that, okay? I mean, you really mean that. So let's be real here, okay? So you need to be very, very careful like that, because you can offend people. You can offend people of all races, of all ethnicities, of all genders, okay? Of all nationalities, right? So just be very careful when you do that. But again, a nice, wholesome humor, right, at work, keeping in line with the laws and regulations governing, okay, workplace, fairness and equity, equal opportunity, right? All of that should be incorporated, okay, because it just makes life so much more enjoyable in the workplace overall. Okay, and when people enjoy coming to work, you have less turnover, you have higher performance, you have higher quality also deliverables, okay? And people are more than likely then going to say, oh, well, do you like working there? Yes. Oh, let's check out this company then, right? So, it's a very positive way all the way around, right? So anyways, and it's the human element. We're all humans first, okay? Right? So with that said, I hope this was helpful. This is Anna London. Look, use humor to be more memorable. Use humor to get a view into a group's norms and values. Use humor as a humanizing tool. Use humor to signal confidence and high emotional intelligence. Use humor, okay, first and foremost, to enjoy work, okay, period, full stop. Okay, this is Anna London with Cyvergence, signing out.